a lot of folks like to say. Pat Cadell is with us. We've got Washington Examiner editor Dave Freddoso, Independent Women Forum expert Hadley Heath. Hadley, begin with you on this race, where it stands now. The Sandy subsides, the economy comes presumably front and center. Play that out in the race these next 6 days.
Well, as Carl was just saying, over the past 18 months or so, not many events have really moved the needle. We're in a situation where about half of the country has already decided they want to see President Obama reelected, and the other half of the country supports Governor Romney. I think the difference here is who actually shows up at the polls. This is going to be about turning out the base and about which side has the most enthusiasm on Election Day.
Pat Cadell, as we look at these crowds, do we still have these shots of these crowds in Jacksonville, guys? These are huge crowds that they have been getting in and around the country, as you often remind me, Pat, in and of themselves. That doesn't mean anything. I think you told me that Michael Dukakis had huge crowds in the waning days of the '88 campaign.
George McGovern had gigantic crowds.
Sure. Well, a lot of you're much older. I don't remember that one.
Before your time.
But what do you make of that, and whether that's not being calculated, the passion factor in your base? What do you think?
One of the things in the Fox poll tonight that's important is that Republicans seem much more galvanized than Democrats. The Republicans are voting 95% to 2 in this poll for Romney. They show about a 12-point edge in both wanting him to be elected and thinking it's important their man be elected than President Obama's supporters. President Obama's approval rating is back up to near 50. It's split. This is a slightly Democratic sample. Internally, it looks strong for Romney, but this was before the storm. And remember,
so all these samplings are prior to the storm. It's not like a rolling average deal.
No, it was done as they came in. So that matters. And, you know, there's good news for both, but we don't know. And
it's all about the passion and the base. David Freddoso, to that point, then, I was thinking of this storm. I was thinking of the millions who are still without power. It could be that way right through Election Day, and now talk on the East Coast of another storm coming, nothing approaching this magnitude, and I don't want to make a big deal out of it. I just do want to scare people again because we're going to have an update on it later on. But I will ask you, David, whether it comes back to what Pat said, you got to get that jazz base out, and a jazz base tends to weather storms, electricity disruptions, and get out and vote. Who has that?
Yeah. Well, you know, it does seem like a lot of the indications point to a more energized Republican base. However, it's important to note that that base